A flying start for Cronulla in the local derby against St George at Shark Park. Alan Bateman at the end of the best-of-3 first-half tries.
That's an amazing try by the Sharks.
Andrew Ettinghausen bagged a couple of tries to put the game out of reach.
And last night at Shark Park, it was payback time for Cronulla. 3 tries in 14 minutes gave the Sharks a 14-0 half-time lead against the Western Reds.
Andrew Ettinghausen scores.
After last week's loss in Perth, Cronulla gained quick revenge, coasting home 26-12. At Shark Park, a tribute to Andrew Ettinghausen, equalling David Hatch's club record of 255 games. But the laser spectacular gave way to a dour struggle between Cronulla and Penrith. Craig Greenhill's dive from dummy half put the Sharks ahead before Paul Donaghy's runaway try 11 minutes from time secured a 10-2 win.
At Shark Park, Cronulla's Paul Donaghy bit off more than he could chew in South's Craig Salvatore. In a match full of feeling, Cronulla kept the Rabbitohs tryless, but bagged 2 of their own. 18-0 to the locals, with South still winless after 8 rounds.
Cronulla was looking to make it 5 from 5 at home against the Gold Coast side, determined to erase the memories of last week's hiding at the hands of Newcastle. The match was just 7 minutes old when the Sharks crossed through Paul Donaghy.
Turns the defence around and then steps inside Odin Ryan.
Fundamental mistakes were putting enormous pressure on the Chargers, and eventually it told. The Sharks going in for try number 2 and a 14-0 half-time lead.
Bells looks the pass for Rogers, miraculous pass.
Matt Rogers crossed late to take his tally to 14 for the game. That ensured a Sharks victory, 18 points to 10.
Last night at Ericsson Stadium, Cronulla won a terrific match against Auckland. There were 9 tries all up. The Sharks home 28-24.
And the Sharks are on a high after a thrilling 28-24 defeat of the Auckland Warriors in Auckland. Backing up from Origin duty, Andrew Ettinghausen scored a double.
She's in the game, and there's the first try of the match.
Cronulla coach John Lang rates it the best win in his 2.5 years at the club. Nick McArdle, 7 Nightly News.
At Shark Park, Cronulla maintained its unbeaten home record with a 28-4 win over South Queensland.
Centre Paul Donaghy hit back for Cronulla, and before a crowd of 13,000, this derby also proved a hit amongst players. Bell getting neighbourly with Andrew Pearce. Paul Green crawled through Saints' defences just before half-time, and the Sharks went 10 ahead when Matt Rogers scored early in the second.
The Sharks replied just 4 minutes later. Adam Dykes crossing in the corner, and Mitch Healy produced a beauty from the sideline to put the Sharks ahead 8-6. The Bulldogs were digging their own hole with fundamental mistakes. The Sharks up 8-6 at the break. Early in the second 40, referee Eddie Ward was a bit quick to give a penalty with the Sharks on the attack. But with 19 to go, the home side all but wrapped up the game with a soft try to Andrew Pearce. Late in the match, Cronulla's Nathan Long was also reported for this tackle. The Sharks home 16-6, all but ending the Dogs' finals chances.
Last night, Cronulla moved into the top 8 with a 16-6 win over Canterbury. After Adam Dykes' try, the Sharks extended the lead when Andrew Pearce broke the Bulldog front line and stepped clear to score.
And he should have been marking created early havoc. Paul Green's dummy leaving Canberra cold. But the comeback stalled when David Peachy's touch earned 4 points.
Oh, this will be a try to the Sharks. No! Have they got there? McLean is going to award it to Peachy.
Canberra couldn't cope with Cronulla's kicking game. Mitch Healy's high bomb providing Andrew Ettinghausen's first try. Matt Rogers' chip always on the cards for ET's second.
On the chase. Oh, this is sensational from the Sharks.
The Sharks replied with tries from David Peachy and Matt Rogers and led 12.
In the hunt for outright third position, the Bears set the pace at North Sydney Oval, but sloppy defence allowed the Sharks through for first points. Dean Treaster going in low.
And the Sharks are over.
But out of nowhere, the Sharks pulled off a try that sent shivers through the North Sydney crowd.
Back inside for Nico. He's going to score, Nico. The Sharks are down, but they're not out.
Down by 1 point after the conversion, the Sharks fired from the field twice, but to no avail. Then, with just 3 seconds remaining, Mitch Healy sealed the game at 15-all.
Healy's kick high, and the referee says yes.
Matthew Watson, National 9 News.
This was Shark Park today as the ground recovered from a giant rugby league hangover. Last night, it was pandemonium on the same turf.
Cronulla Sutherland have defeated Manly by 2 points.
And later, everyone was singing the praise.
12-10 victory over Manly.
Everything remained peachy at Shark Park today, with last night's man of the match still supporting a winner's grin.
David Peachy!
In a game where defence dominated, it was always going to take something special to swing the result. And early in the second half, Manly hit back.
Carroll going for the line, he's over!
But then came what many considered the turning point. After gathering the ball near his own line, Peachy and his teammates tore back into Manly territory, and 4 tackles later, Dykes was over the line.
I love open running. I mean, when you see them gaps, it's just unreal.
Manly didn't surrender, and after Ridge scored a doubtful try, only 2 points separated the sides.
Yeah, he's lost it cold.
Late in the game, the Sea Eagles looked certain to score again, but then came another match turner.
What a tackle by Mitch Healy!
Healy's tackle saved the game and delivered Manly only their 3rd loss for the season.
He was my man, and if he had scored, it would have been my fault. So luckily enough, I came up with a tackle.
Cronulla beat Manly at its own game. The Sea Eagles' defence has been their cornerstone this season, and the Sharks turned copycat.
If somebody's doing something extremely well, I think it's worthwhile having a look at what they're doing.
Manly didn't lose any fans, but Cronulla gained a few. Clinton Fletcher, National 9 News.
Rogers, who picked up 18 points for the game, made it 20-12, but a late try to Cronulla's David Peachy, sealing a 26-18 victory, possibly Parramatta's finals fate. The match was only a minute old when the Sharks' Paul Green's quick tap went wide to Paul Donaghy, a bad miss by Matthew Gidley, Richard Barnett finishing things off.
Inside, does he use him? Yes, he does. He'll go all the way. The Sharks will score.
Come the 14th minute, the Sharks again attacked Gidley. Donaghy successful a second time breaking through to present Barnett with number 2.
Craigie, he tries to get the ball inside, and this is Barnett, and Barnett will go over in the corner.
Knights coach Mal Reilly seeing his side's finals hopes sinking in the mud. Even the reliable Matt Rogers' boots struggled in the conditions, but not as much as the Newcastle handling. Right on half-time, Green strolled through some non-existent defence. The Sharks up 16-0 at the break.
Under the posts!
With the win behind Cronulla in the second 40, more soft defence saw the Sharks jump to 22-0 straight after the break.
Peachy will score.
Later, Cronulla's Paul Green did it easy from the scrum base. The nail-biter had Lang reaching for the bottle. With 7 to go, another Sharks scrum win. Donaghy pushing off Ken McGuinness and Georgalis, scores 12 all. Rogers put his sign up by 2. West coach Tommy Radonicus could see the fairy tale turning to a nightmare. His worst fears realised when Green again crossed. The Sharks 20-12 victors. They now meet the loser of the Brisbane North's clash.
On the final stage, Brisbane had a bad case of the jitters, while Cronulla played the lead role with aplomb.
Good kick, this one. Oh, it's easy.
E.T. was wrapped, and there was more good news to come. Steve Renouf let one slip, and from the ensuing scrum, Cronulla rolled out a textbook try.
Eddinghausen and Green laying it on. Peachy's into the space. They're not going to get him.
10-0. Andrew G didn't do Brisbane any favours, but when his show was the Les Davidson-Alan Langer bout. Les won the fight, and Cronulla won the first half with a 14-8 lead. Matt Rogers topped it up to 16-8 with another penalty, didn't faze Green, who kicked cross-field to a flying Richard Barnett. It was gripping football. Cronulla holding out Premiership heavyweights Brisbane 22 points to 16 and now play Manly next weekend. Peter Overton, National 9 News.